Hello, I'm hoping everything's working okay. Gonna just check the computer while we get everything set up. Today we're going to be making the marshmallow from the Megg Fast 3.1. It's just one of those recipes I think that everybody could benefit seeing live, and if you've missed this live, you'll be able to watch it back later. Sorry, I just heard myself coming through. So yes, we are live. Awesome. I'm just going to open that up. So if I get any questions, I can see that, and I will go through the questions in between because we have some cooking times in that as well. So I'm going to just get our sugar syrup on because this was the fun part about the whole process, was getting this to, now I can't remember, I hope it was 800. Getting to do this on a portable stovetop. I tried one today, it worked fine, then I blew it later, which I'll tell you about a bit later, because this is like a really hard hot plate to sort out. But anyway, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it a little bit because we don't want to overcook the sugar syrup. I'm going to keep calling it sugar syrup, but there's no sugar in there, okay? There is a sweetener. Now, this recipe, I am using xylitol today. You can use allulose and xylitol. You can use erythritol base. So we've actually tested it with all your nat for your baking, your brown sweeteners. Just don't use the liquid one. You want to have a granulated one. You can add a tablespoon of a liquid sweetener, as in a sucrin gold or a sucrin clear syrup or an allulose syrup. That is traditional in a marshmallow, like a glucose syrup, but I don't use it at all. I find it sweet enough. If you are using allulose though, it is like 1 1/3 cup to 1 cup of sugar, right? So if you do the measures that are in this recipe, the marshmallow turns out a lot less sweet. Now, I've already like more than halved the amount of sweetener that goes into this marshmallow than a traditional one. So it's already not off the chart sweet, okay? So, but if you knock the sweetener back further, you may affect the structure of the marshmallow. I'm just going to grab a piece and I'm going to get my fingers all sticky. But as you can see, she's really nice and perfectly marshmallowy, okay? This one's actually got a sticky coating because I put some citric acid on the outside, like to make it sour, and it's kind of made it sticky. So it's really nice though. But it's still drying out. It's the one that I made yesterday that I may have, you may have seen on Facebook already. I also made the Turkish Delight one last week. Now the Turkish Delight, if you've already got the ebook of the Megg Fast, all you need to do is make the recipe exactly as it is. But when you add the vanilla, you also add 1 teaspoon of rose water, and that's all I did. And then I just crushed some rose buds over the top when I was done, and that's it. You could put nuts in it. Now, personally, I don't like crunchy things in the marshmallow, but you can do that if you want. And what I've done with these ones, you should be able to hear that, is I've actually left it out. Now, if you look back on Facebook, I think I made it 2 or 3 days ago. I've left it out at room temperature and it's gone nice and firm. It is like, you know how you can get those kids kind of little mini meringues that are really like crunchy on the outside and a little bit chewy and marshmallowy on the inside, but only a little bit? That's exactly what this is like when it dries out a little bit. So they're to die for. I've also cut up some of this, because the soft marshmallow I showed you is a sour watermelon. So I actually made that with the, I thought I did it with the Vital Zing drops, but you could use any of the Vital Zing drops. So I actually was making some gummies and I just threw in 1 packet of aeroplane jelly watermelon into the mixture, and I threw in some citric acid into it as well to make it a little bit sour, and it's beautiful. So that was just 1 extra pack in the standard recipe. But I've actually sliced some of that up and I've got it in the dehydrator at the moment at 45 degrees. It's been in there, I think I put a note on this morning, or I've taken a photo, so I'll be able to tell you exactly what time. I've just checked it. It's still soft, but it's dehydrating really well. The thing is with these marshmallows, you have to dehydrate them slowly. So if you put it up to a 55 to 65 degree temperature, it may melt depending on the sweetener, because I've given you a broad spectrum of sweeteners to use. We want to make every recipe supermarket friendly, so you could still go to the supermarket and use your Natvia and your Lakanto, Truvia. I haven't tried that one, but I think one of the testers may have used the your baking and that as well too. So we have tried the different sweeteners, which are mainly erythritol based. The only difference if you are using those sweeteners, and this is why I don't use it in mine, is they tend to go a little bit crunchy. If you've made anything with erythritol based sweeteners before, where you heat and then you cool, they crystallize. So the sweetener itself, while it goes into a liquid form, goes back into a solid form. So it forms little crystals, like little salt crystals or salt flakes throughout whatever you're cooking. So that could be in a curd, it could be in the marshmallow, it could be in a caramel, and it kind of makes it not so nice. The marshmallow it's actually worked okay in. We found that it's been okay. And the good thing is you can leave these out at room temperature if you want. So if you leave them out at room temperature, they shouldn't go really crunchy. Speaking with the testers and how they've stored it, most of them just said it was more like the Pascal's marshmallows, that were the sugar-free ones, which I don't think are available anymore. I haven't seen them in a while. They've got that skin on the outside, a little bit firmer, a tiny little bit of grit, but not too much. Not too much that it wouldn't stop you from making them or enjoying them in a hot chocolate or something like that as well, which obviously we've got the hot chocolate and the white hot chocolate in the ebook. So this, I'm just getting this liquid up. And what I'm going to do with this is, so just explaining the recipe rather than giving it away, is we put the sugar syrup on the heat, and we're bringing it up to a simmer, but not a rolling boil simmer, okay? So we just want it to be simmering nicely. Once it hits that, I'm going to pop on my timer. I'm just going to use my oven timer for 4 minutes. The one thing that I have written in the notes in this recipe is the timing has been exact. You can see I'm using a KitchenAid stand mixer with the balloon whisk attach. You can use a hand beater or whatever in that as well too. If they've got balloon whisk attachments, that's better than a paddle. But you know, it's just high speed when we go to mix. So once this one's on, it's nearly there. So it's just taking a little bit longer because we're using the portable one. But it's good to see, like, you know, that you could even make this, I guess, if you went camping or something like that and you've got a portable hot plate, or you want to do it over the fire. I'm just going to see that. Anyone's asking any questions already? What are you drying it in, please? Okay, so Leanne, I'm using a dehydrator. I found the receipt last night. We've been going through and cleaning out the house, and we've got some, old, what do you call them, instruction manuals and stuff. And we bought our dehydrator. I can't even remember what brand it is now. I think it might be Sunbeam. Something 123 or something. Anyway, we bought it over 10 years ago for $280. I have literally used that every single year, many times over. Pre-keto, we had a mini orchard, and we dehydrate fruit roll-ups, and we make apple chips, dehydrated oranges, blood oranges, finger limes. We've made tons of jerky over the years and that as well too. So a great thing to use. You can use the oven. So like my oven has a proving one. It's like at 40 degrees, I think it is for proving. If somebody else knows better, then tell me. But it's got all the temperatures that you can adjust to anyway. You could do it in a very low oven, around 40 to 45. If you put a few in and just stick it on for an hour and see that they don't melt, depending on what the sweetener is, then you can just pop in the rest. I just don't want anyone wasting a batch by turning it up too much, because what happens then is it does melt it and it turns them into little blobs. You could still dehydrate it for a long time. It'll come out, it'll be hard like a lolly, but not the same. If you've ever had dehydrated marshmallows before, they're insanely good. If you're familiar with clinker chocolates, that are those chocolate-coated little yellow-green berry flavour things inside, the marshmallow is just like the clinker. Okay, so that's what you're going to get if you do it right. Otherwise, you can see I've dehydrated these ones at room temperature. So they've just been left out completely. So you could do that with one of those like lacy nets or something like that if you want to put over a bit of muslin and that. So if you've got anything that might crawl over it in the middle of the night, it just keeps it nice and clean. Our yellows work beautifully. It does Lucy too. I've used it as well, and I thought it was my favourite, and then I tried xylitol again, and just the consistency of it, making it exactly to the recipe. I just don't differ. You'll see once I've got this up, and it's just about there. The only thing that might happen with this one is it might turn out a bit wonky because I am using something. Okay, so that's simmering now. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put on my timer for 4 minutes. I'm not going to touch it. The only thing I might do is turn it down a little bit because you do not want, like I said, you do not want it to be boiling. This is so hard to get this right when you're using this thing, but anyway. I'm turning the wattage down, so I've just got to keep an eye on it, whether I've got to juggle it back and forward to make sure it keeps bubbling. So yeah, you just want it where the bubbles are just coming up, like if you not like a little bit more than if you're poaching an egg, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I know you can't see in there, but I will do a top-down video as well, just so you can see those bubbles coming up to the surface of the water, and that is how you want it. Okay, so while that's happening too, I should have already done this. I've got my gelatin here. I'm just going to put this in. There is another better way to do this, and I never do it. I've never done it with the marshmallow, but I do it with my gummies all the time. So to make it virtually no lumps straight into cold water, I just start with a little bit of water. So like when I make gummies, I use like let's just say roughly around a quarter of a cup, half a cup of gelatin, depending on how much I'm making. And then I add cold water and just a little bit, and I blend it into a paste first, like just with a spoon. And then I add the extra water that I'm going to do, because normally when I do gummies, I might do a double batch of 1 cup of full boiling water. So I use an extra quarter of a cup of cold water with my gelatin, of half a cup of gelatin, and I mix that into a paste first. So that when I add the boiling water, there's no lumps in there. It's already like just into this thick paste, even if it sets hard. I'm just going to pop that up a little bit. We're just going to juggle, like I said, we're just going to juggle this back and forth to keep it simmering because it's cooling off. But normally on my gas, it just stays at the same temperature. You don't have to adjust it if you're using a standard cooktop. This is just one it's only got a few settings on it. So it's on a simmer now, but it has 200 to 1600 watts. So a little bit hard. I haven't played with it enough to get it right. Oh, I just made, let's see if I did it right. Awesome. Like, I hope you're liking it, Linda. I don't know if you've tried it yet. So people have asked, can you toast this marshmallow? I might actually even get Dave to get the gun from out of the laundry, and I'll toast one for you. But yes, you can toast it, and it toasts beautifully. As I say, you can dehydrate it. You can chocolate coat it, which I've done in the pictures. So with the chocolate coating, I just melt a little bit of any of the keto chocolates that I liked, and I used a few different ones. You can put in a little bit of MCT oil just to loosen it up a little bit, and then you just dunk them in. I actually use these little chocolate tools that you can get off Amazon, and I just dunk it in the chocolate and then just pop it on paper and let it set, peel it off, and pop it in the freezer. And the marshmallows are perfect in the freezer. So you can chop them up like this, pop them on a tray, put them into the freezer, just let them chill first, and then pop them into a container separately and put a lid on it and keep them in the freezer. Well, I don't know how long, but for a long time, and they just stay perfect. So marshmallow is awesome in the freezer. So that's a good thing about it, is you don't have to have all these sweet treats in front of your face, and you can cut them as big or as small as you want. I'm just going to pop that back up again. And okay, we're nearly there. So what I'm going to do is, this is one of the little tips that I put in there just to get rid of some of the lumps, is I pop that in the microwave, 30 seconds, and I pop it in here. So I was saying I made another batch earlier today and I ruined it. Now what I did is I actually made mine with the Lobros pineapple and lime kombucha. Turned out perfect. Beautiful, silky. Hopefully this one will turn out really voluminous. Beautiful meringue. And then what did I do? I put an oil-based colour in it after I'd already whipped it. And ruined it because it turned it to liquid. So thankfully it's not in the book that I said to do that, but do not use oil-based colours unless you intend on ruining your meringue. So I have done it with water-based colours. So the Turkish Delight is coloured with some water-based colour to make it pinker. I just put it in the water here when I was boiling. Okay, so now I've just added my gelatin, and I'm going to put that on for 2 minutes. I do for once that's gone in. So again, on goes my timer. Hopefully This is going to be okay. That's the main thing. I just need it to come back up quickly. It's just cooled off a little bit. So when you're doing this on the stove, you've got that, like I said, the low simmer, bubbles coming up. You add it in your gelatin and water mixture. It'll cool down a little bit. Just give it a whisk till you've basically mixed in that gelatin if it's still in a lump, rather than doing the 30 seconds in the microwave like I have, because it depends on where you're cooking and whether you've got one or not. It's not something you have to do. It's something that I only just started doing at the end because I'm like, that's how I would normally cook myself. Because I'm someone that will use everything in the kitchen. But once you mix it in, it'll come back up, which you can see now. There's a little bit of smoke there. So now it's back to simmering, and we're simmering it for 2 minutes. Now what I do is when that's simmering for 2 minutes, this is where we get noisy. Got my eggs in here, and I'm just going to turn that on. Always with anything like this, we're using fresh eggs, and I always use a large egg. So if anyone ever says, oh, I use the jumbo eggs or whatever, what size eggs? I always get like the largest eggs, the ones that are 800 to 900 gram from supermarket or from the local markets. So my timer's on. The good thing is when I'm simmering this, I'm just going to pop that temperature up. When I'm simmering this, I'm also beating these for 2 minutes, so that actually brings it up to a stiff peak. And then I know when this is done too, because they're both on the same sort of timer. So I've got that on. Can you use gel colours? If you're going to make the marshmallow, this is what I would do to test it, and I'll do it over time, but if you want to make it this week, chuck a little bit in another bowl. So take a little bit out, put a little bit in, see how it goes. But they were the Colour Mill ones that I used that ruined it. As soon as I put it in, you could hear it was like throwing salt on bubble bath. It just was psst, and it just turned to liquid. So it absolutely killed it, just like that. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to put this in a jug just to be safe. Okay, if you have any lumps in your mixture, you can just sieve them off, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pour this in, steadily pouring into the mixture. You'll see it starting to thicken up and look amazing straight away. It looks exactly like you're making a pavlova, okay? Okay, so now it's in. I come back to my timer and I immediately stick it on for 7 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes, no less, okay? People will look at it and go, it's doubled in size, it's ready. No, it's not. You'll actually like hear this when it gets close to getting ready, and you can actually feel the outside of the bowl. It's ready when it's almost like cooled, and the mixer sounds like it's changing gears as it starts to get thicker and glossier. So it's like I said, it should come out, and when the whisk comes out, it's stiff. Like, you can hold it upside down. You could probably do the old, egg whites above your head trick. But what we're going to do is, like, I put mine on for 7 minutes. I'm always watching to make sure I'm not going to screw something up. But I can add my vanilla, and like I said, I use a Mexican vanilla. It's vanilla seeds and water. So you could make it yourself, of course. And it's really concentrated. It's really lovely. This one, I got it off Amazon. And I'm just going to, you can add 1 to 2 teaspoons of that, okay? Now, I was going to quickly show you, because I made these up. We've been meal prepping. And today I made the pizza, even though David had leftover cottage pie, not knowing that I was going to make it. But what I thought I'd do is I do a double batch. But what I made, look, lunch pizza subs with the upside down pizza. So it's a deep dish pizza, and I made them into one-handed pizza subs, just using a silicone mold. So that's one batch in there, and I got 5 pizza subs out of it, which, if you know, the pizza is actually like for 4 serves anyway. So I got an extra serve, and it will still be just as filling. So I'm going to put them in the lunch boxes later. You'll see throughout the week I'll make up lunch boxes of the meals, just to show you how portable simple and useful these recipes are for anyone that's, you know, working outdoors, working away, traveling, an office worker, or even the, you know, people that just like to prep everything in advance, go straight into the week and you're ready and you don't have to think about everything. There's no failing because you're hungry. You've just got the meals ready to go. Now I want to hear that you can hear me well enough. I've got the microphone on, but of course that is quite noisy. So I'm hoping you can hear me pretty good. Oh, thanks, Lucy. Lucy Dillon is one of our head testers, and she's a cake, well, she has her own cake business. She knows about them all, but yeah, the colour mill ones, if that's what they're called that I use, they're amazing colours for your cakes and stuff, but just don't throw them in a marshmallow. I don't have a beet mixer. Okay, Belinda, I'm guessing you mean like you don't have like a mixer like this? You can use a hand mixer. You can use a hand mixer. I've got my Breville one over there somewhere. Or you can use the Thermomix if you've got one of those. So you could mix it in there. But the only problem is when you see this, you're going to see why I chose not to put it in there. Or you can hand whisk it. And hand whisk is going to be a long time. You're probably going to be beating it for probably twice as long because it's going to take a lot of action, okay? But yeah, it's definitely something that I think is much better if you've got a mixer to use. Okay, so we're pretty much around that mark to not forget to put in my vanilla, so I'm going to put that in now. Oopsie. Now I said I'd make some flavours with people's suggestions, which I will do over time, but what I thought I'm going to do with this one, I just wasted some, is I'm going to make these ones into little Lamington marshmallows. I'm not going to do it today because I'm going to allow the mixture to sit at room temperature for 24 hours once I've spread it out, then cut it, dry it out a little bit more, then coat it in chocolate, a little sprinkle of shredded or desiccated coconut, we'll see where I go with the coconut, and a little bit of freeze-dried raspberries on the outside. Now you could do this like little blobs, you could inject sugar-free jam inside it, you could put it on a pie base with a jam, pile the marshmallow on top, drizzle the chocolate coconut and, you know, berries or whatever over the top and make an amazing pie. It's so easy. I wish you guys could see this. It's like huge. It's like this far from the top now, but you got to think like, you know, it's not a huge mixture, this one. So, and like I said, so much less sweetener than a traditional one, even though it's already low carb. I guess some people ask, why did I put marshmallow in a fasting cyclical weight loss plan? Well, you can see like I am losing weight, like I've like lost 16 kilos myself. But I think a lot of us might like a little bit of something sweet. We wanted some warm drinks today. I know a lot of people like to have their marshmallows and stuff, and I don't want them to have a hot chocolate, and I really want to have a marshmallow and go and buy one of those crappy ones with maltitol and stuff like that in it, because you're undoing all the good work that you're doing anyway. So I thought I would add this. You can, like I said, you can cut them tiny. So if I wanted to, have I got a little knife over here? I'll just show you. If I wanted just to cut these and add a couple of little bits like this, it's nothing. Like literally you wouldn't even have probably half a teaspoon of sweetener between the two of them to pop on the top of your beverage or have a little sweet, have that little sweet hit. I used to run a sandwich shop a billion years ago, and we used to put the minty in the bag after people had a beautiful salad sandwich. And like, if people didn't get their minty, they'd get pissed off because it was the way you finished a meal. So sometimes people like a little bit of something sweet. This is a cleaner way of making something nice and sweet. It's something that you can have on the weekend and stuff. Like I said, you could pimp it if you wanted. You can make it Rocky Road and stuff like that for the weekend. You can pop this in the freezer, cut it in all different sizes, cut it into bars. But I think sometimes just that little bit of something sweet in there. But just remember, keep the sweetness in moderation, particularly when you're fasting, as in intermittent fasting, and in the middle of the plan, because I'm just going to grab my spatula, because sweetness can affect the gut. So if you've got a churny belly or anything like that, in all likelihood it's extra sweetener. So we're getting close. So it'll be a little bit quieter soon and I'll be able to look at everyone else's questions. But I hope you're going to like what you're going to see. I wasn't watching the time so much and it's hard to hear that beeper over the noise of this machine. Mine's the 90th anniversary. I don't know if anyone's got a new KitchenAid. Is it quieter than this one? That's bloody noisy. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Not so easy when you're facing it the other way. So, as you can see, it's like nice and stiff, just like a PAV. And I'm just going to dump that into the middle. So what we've got to do is when this is ready, don't let it sit there, okay? You've got to do this quickly or it'll just become all firm and yucky. But look at this. So this is all sugar-free. This has less than a cup of sweetener in the whole lot. And as I said, don't try and put this in a mold. That's just a waste of time. It's better just to either stick it in a pan as per the recipe, lined pan. You can put extra sweeteners, powdered sweeteners underneath if you want to, or the citric acid works really well for sour, but it does go a little bit liquidy on the outside. It doesn't ruin the marshmallow. You can see those ones there they've got on it. So on this, I can smooth it over a little bit because I know I'm going to make this one into like a lamington later. Another thing that I wonder if I've got any there. I might just pop a couple on in a couple of spots. Boo, 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 boo. Nah. Yep. Not for Megg Fast, but I wanted to try this. Atkins have these crisp breads. So I was thinking like if I did some of you eat these, some of you will be like, no, don't put that on there. But I'm sure if I chocolate coat this, it'll be just like a polly waffle. So I'm just going to put that at the end because I'm just going to cut that bit off later and coat that in chocolate for a bit of a polly waffle effort. But you know, you can imagine like you could do this as a slice for Christmas or something like that with some crisp breads, or make your own crisp breads, or the sweet faster, which you've already seen. I can't remember who it was now, sorry, but I saw one of the girls has made a s'mores with the sweet faster in Megg Fast. The sweet faster is insane. It's like, with the cinnamon, it's like a cinnamon roller, like an apple cinnamon. I put apple drops in it from Vital Zing and that as well too. It was like amazing, just like a fruit roller, but not. So you could actually like do that and cook it longer and make it crispy and use that on these and that as well too. Do layers with the marshmallow and the cracker or the pasta faster, and then coat it in chocolate or ice or something like that on the top, or put like a sugar-free jam or something like that. So another way to pimp it outside of the fast. But you can see like that's really, really easy. I'll just show you like what happens. So you can sort of, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see like it's gone firmer. So that's what I mean, like if you don't act quickly and spread that out, it'll just go a little bit like marshmallow, okay? It just sets quickly because it's basically, as soon as it begins to cool, it starts to turn into a firm marshmallow. So I will now leave that, and I'll leave that out overnight. You can put it straight into the fridge, you can put it straight into the freezer. It's up to you. I'm actually liking the effect of it getting a little bit firmer, not necessarily as firm as these ones, but you can see like these ones have been out for 24 hours. I picked up the other one. But yeah, perfect. Ooh. Oh, that was something I was thinking today. Imagine making a rocky road with this in reverse. So you actually like, when it's coming in the bowl, you could actually like pour in probably some chocolate, or put in like little bit of chocolate bits, some nuts, some freeze-dried berries or something like that, or even like a swirl of Nat Via's raspberry jam. I always colour it, by the way, just because it looks pretty when it's bright pink. And and it all sticks together with a marshmallow, and put that into a tray and then cut it. Like, that'd be something pretty cool. It's kind of like sort of like Rice Krispie bars, but with better crispy stuff in it. So you could still do that with soy protein for anyone that eats soy protein balls and things like that, for those sort of things as well. But yeah, something a little bit interesting. So anyway, I'm just going to have a quick look through the comments. So you've seen, like, I did the upside down little pizza subs. Great idea for lunchboxes, I think, too. I would have put that in the book if I'd thought of it before. I actually went looking for that silicon pan because I knew I had one somewhere. We've made just a plain vanilla marshmallow today. The one that I made is with xylitol. As I said, it has worked with others. If you've seen my pictures, the picture that's in the banner of this one in the green, that one was done with an erythritol. And that one was done with xylitol as well too. Let me have a look at some questions. And if you've got any questions, quickly write them in, because I'll get off and get my kitchen clean. We've been cleaning the house. One part of the house is really sparkling and I'd like to do the rest of it, but I did plan on doing this live today and I had to make sure I checked everything. And as I said, just no colour bases that are oil based into the mixture. The water can be replaced with anything. So from kombucha, you could make vanilla Coke ones, like, let's just say like a sugar-free Coke and vanilla, or the vanilla sugar Coke, or Vital Zing ones with any flavours. You could make a ginger beer one. You know, you could make, I saw Helen Jack's idea today of the Black Forest. So you could use the black cherry from Vital Zings with it. Then when it's still like this, if you had some chocolate curls already done, when I do a chocolate curl, I just like melt dark chocolate, put it straight onto the bench, use my cake scraper, which is probably up here. Use one of these. And you just go chocolate curl, chuck it on the top. And again, you could use some like freeze-dried raspberries. I know they're not cherries, but it's freeze-dried raspberries. Looks colourful on the top if you wanted to. A lot of people were saying the booze. If you cook booze, it takes the booze out of it, so a waste of your alcohol, so I wouldn't bother with that. You could still use aromats and stuff like that if you wanted to, or you could do a lemon, lime and bitters, something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't bother putting any alcohol in it. I mean, if you wanted to use something like bourbon or something like that to flavour it, then that would be okay, but you wouldn't use it as all the liquid, if you know what I mean. And bourbon would make it a lot sweeter as well. Just for anyone that does that sort of thing. Rum for Christmas would be nice, like so eggnog. I originally was going to do these as a custard one. You can do it. So our Megg Fast 3 custards, you can make marshmallow out of it. It's exactly the same method. It just comes out denser. So think like a creme brulee marshmallow. That's how it comes out when you make it with a custard, okay? So it's not a gummy and it's not a marshmallow. It's kind of somewhere in between there. Really rich, really delicious, still perfect in like hot chocolate or in a coffee or something like that. Very nice. Hey babe, can you get me the butane torch from the laundry? I'll just quickly show you a toasted marshmallow too. Thanks muchly. Okay. So you just use your butane torch. Doesn't really look as good when it's pink, but so they're eating it. So you can see in the pictures that it definitely gets all nice and soft and stretchy and delicious that way. So I'm not going to eat it and lick my fingers or anything like that while I'm talking to you. But yeah, it works really well. These, you can get them from Bunnings, or we just ordered on Amazon because well, I had another one and Dave went and bought more gas bottles and then the head didn't work, so we had to get the other gas bottle, so we got that. But yeah, easy way to toast them and that as well. You can toast them on your hot chocolate or whatever in that as well too. I always just say be safe when you're doing that around anything. The only paper that was in nearby is baking paper. It can withstand up to 240 degrees Celsius, but it probably would have ignited if I got it. I was thinking of adding essential oils for intense flavour. Not sure about that one, Nicole. Again, it would be, you know, try it and see how you go. I would personally, if I was wanting to experiment with some different flavors, use the sweeteners that are lower priced. So if you make, I don't know the prices of all the ones at the supermarket because I don't use them. I think everyone knows I mostly use sucre and sweeteners, and the xylitol and allulose I source from overseas. So when you are going to do something, pick whichever's the cheapest sweetener. So if you're going to, if it doesn't work, like with my failed lemon lime ones today, I've actually put it in the honeycomb mold from Thermomix and put it in the freezer because I'm thinking, well, it's really, essentially it's a gummy mixture that you've aerated. So it should set into something that is edible still and it will still taste nice. It's just turned it into a liquid. But yeah, I would try some either in a little bit of the mixture or with a cheaper sweetener so that you're not wasting some of the expensive sweeteners. If you're buying allulose or xylitol, they can be quite hefty in price tag. So, throwing away your money that way is a little bit sad. And trust me, if anyone has been following this, we have literally been testing marshmallow, I think, for, I don't know, let's just say, I've been saying maybe 6 months, but it's probably about 4 months, but I've made a lot. And I never liked marshmallow, but I actually like these. So it's really good that I like, the reason I like them is because they're not overly sweet. So when I make it with allulose, it's undersweet. I would say it's not like, let's just say here's sweet here. If you like eat a chocolate caramel slice, I'd say that's sweet up here, right? So I would say here's chocolate caramel slice, here's an allulose marshmallow in sweet. And I'm saying chocolate caramel sugar-free slice, like my chocolate caramel slice, if you've ever made that before, and the allulose marshmallows around here. The xylitol ones are around about here, so there's still a bit of a difference in the sweetness levels. But yeah, it's just because the allulose is a less conversion. I just seen a question from Denise, can you use gel colours? Gel colours, not sure. So just check and see what's in it. Like I said, I've used the water one just in with the water because it's water. So we already put water in it or a liquid in it. But it could be, I don't know, like if you can put oils in a pavlova mixture possibly, because I think it just killed the air caught in the egg white. So that kind of blew it. Oh, Colour Mill have a new water-based range. Well, then I'll be buying some. They're beautiful colours. I really do like using them. And I do have a lot. I probably haven't even used all the ones I've got, to be honest. Good that you can hear. That was good to know because like doing something like this when you're mixing, it's better if I just video ahead, but I wanted to show because I do get people that actually say that's fake. The one thing we really do pride ourselves on is our recipes are not fake. I do not even fake the pictures. So where you've heard about food photography, that's glue or it's been basted in, I don't know, some I've seen like Bonox or something like that. I don't do any of that, okay? About the most I ever do is spray a little bit of olive oil over the top to make it look glistening. And you can probably now look at my photos and go, oh, she didn't spray that one. Because I don't do it very often. Our food is real, it's tested real, and it's tested with our other testers and that as well too, that are not all from Australia and that as well too. With various brands, various methods, the Thermomix methods, the conventional methods, other thermal cookers and stuff like that as well too. Different size ovens, kind of ovens, air fryers, whatever. We do try and test everything. So we want everything to be real. But when I say, if I just showed a quick video, it could have been like anything. It could have been I'm making it with sugar and stuff like that. So, I mean, I didn't show you the xylitol that I was using then, but I can assure you it's xylitol. If you know sugar, sugar looks totally different as well too. It'd be like probably twice the volume again. Would it be nice in a slice too? Absolutely. Like I think these, like for me, I'm already thinking of Christmas pie. So I'm thinking like a beautiful, like you could do like a keto sweetened berry or rhubarb and orange or something like that, or even like, a ginger caramel with the marshmallow on the top. And then you could just do like the toffee sauce or something like that over the top with a, blitzed praline, like, toffee, like again, sugar-free toffee. It's very indulgent for Christmas, something that everyone would love and not even know that when they're eating a slice of it, that it is sugar-free. So you can kind of see like where I'm coming from, that these are very easy things to do. This is something that you could, put an ice cream in an ice cream paddle pop, coat it in some of this marshmallow, freeze it, then coat it in chocolate, stupidly versatile. And as I said, the liquid could be anything. So for the kids, you could make this with juice. So you can do it with any kind of juice. You could even do it with like a lower, like if let's just say you want to do a cranberry juice at Christmas or something like that with the lower sugar ones, because there are ones there that are still like low carb. You just replace the water with the juice, or a soft drink, sugar-free soft drink cordial, or any flavoured. So you could still use the liquid. I'm looking over at a kombucha cordial there that Dave's just had recently. Like I said, bitters would be great in it. Any of the Vitals range, and that's whether it's the water drops, the soda drops, or the milk drops. They all work beautifully. So you can imagine, like just say in the milk drops, I'm thinking banana marshmallow. So you could do that with, and then coat it with a little bit of crushed nuts over the top, a little bit of chocolate. This is not on the Megg Fast. This is just for every day, and you'd have like a banana sundae marshmallow. Very, very simple stuff to make, and of course, polywaffle with Atkins cracker bread, crisp breads. Theirs is just these ones from the supermarket. That's what I just put on there. So you could put that in the bottom as well, put the marshmallow on the top. You could even do some of these in the bottom, put a layer of chocolate or chocolate fudge, then put the marshmallow on the top, put another layer of the cracker bread, and then coat it in chocolate, slice it up, and then you freeze it. So that's the beauty of the marshmallow being able to be frozen as well. I tried in the thermi last night and they're delicious, but not as fluffy. But I also got a gelatin layer separating out because I didn't strain the gelatin mix. I'm not sure that would be from the gelatin mix. It can be from, if you're using Mackenzie's gelatin, I don't think it's as good as any other gelatin. There must be something in it because we've had people that have had separation using that before. I don't use it because I buy gelatin in bulk. Because I make gummies virtually every single week, and I'm testing a lot of marshmallow. I've gone through a lot, and of course I use it in a lot of baking, so I always do buy it in bulk. But I have been known to go and buy Mackenzie's, and I have tested this with Mackenzie's actually. Oh no, actually I think that was a gummy. I know I just used some of it recently. I think it might have been this because it's the right amount. So one of them I did use the Mackenzie's one. I didn't have a problem with it, but I think it's just a Thermomix, just can't mix it all properly. You've got a little thing at the bottom going like this, and you've got all that volume. That is not going, it's not going down there and mixing equally. So I think that would just probably be the mixture. I'll check with the Mackenzie's and that as well too. I've got extra sweeteners and stuff. And as I said too, you can use the brown sweeteners in these as well. I'm a bit confused. 600 grams are large eggs, but 800 grams are jumbo eggs. Are you counting 12 or 15? Well, the ones I say are jumbo. Like I said, well, it just depends. Like whatever the jumbo size is at the supermarket, that's what I use. So I use Lake Macquarie eggs or Sunshine Coast, I think they are the other ones. So they're the ones that I use. But yeah, well, I can tell you when a whole egg comes out, I usually write the weights anyway. So I think my egg whites are roughly around about 55, 60 grams. So, well, that might be the whole egg. No, I don't know. I don't have any eggs. Where do I buy freeze-dried raspberries from? I actually just ordered some on Amazon for delivery tomorrow. I'm a Prime member of Amazon. It costs you, I think it's like $10 a month, and you get TV shows or whatever. But for me, I just buy everything. You get so many things next day delivery for free. Like there's heaps of stuff on there. So like, let's just say if you wanted Nigella seeds, you could have them tomorrow delivered for free, and it might cost you $2.80 for the packet. So I ordered freeze-dried raspberries for less than $5 a packet with free delivery tomorrow. So that's where I bought them from. They used to have the freeze-dried ones in the supermarket. They had the Frisp brand ones, which I didn't think they were as good as the ones you can buy from iHerb, say for instance, or I used to buy mine from Essential Ingredient, which is local to us and available to everyone in Australia. But yeah, just look on Amazon. Like honestly, there's just so many things there, and the Prime membership is so worth it. If you hadn't noticed, Australian shipping rates have gone through the roof. Like even now what we charge in our shipping is under what the ticket prices of Australia Post, and in our packages we're adding, you know, every extra satchel bag that you're getting, the padded satchel bags cost us $1 each. So you know, like everything is so expensive, but the Prime membership to me is just worthwhile. Things like, you know, the glassware and stuff like that, I've got more coming. That I've used in the book and that as well too, for like the hot chocolate, you know, $10 delivered. You know, it's like, that's just ridiculous. So, yeah, there's quite a few different ones, but I know I bought 2 different packets, one that's coming tomorrow, one that's coming on Tuesday, because I wanted to try the different ones for different things, because I've got more projects coming up. And I do know that some freeze-dried raspberries come and they might be crushed. They didn't say that they were crushed, but there wasn't a really good description. They weren't powder, but yeah, you can just look at the different varying ones. And when you get a really good quality, they look really pretty in that as well too. So I wanted them to look really good, because I want everything to look good for you guys as well. As you can see, like when I make stuff for myself, I don't really care. But you know, if I was cutting that for a photo, every bit's got to like be square and smoothed out, where this I'm just like, yeah, just throw it in there. Okay, so I don't know if there's any more questions. If you've got any questions regarding the Megg Fast, you can pop that in there too. Drying, yes, I did that one. So you can use an air fryer for the marshmallow. I'm not sure what that was in relation to, or are you talking about for the bars? Because yeah, you can't use an air fryer for this. Air fryers are 180 to 200 degrees, I think, pretty much. Hi Anna, from the Czech Republic. Next on my non-fast day. So that's it. Like with these, like during the fast, I only have a little bit. If you're somebody who has a little bit of sweet and then has to have more, then don't have them. But it was just a recipe that I was playing with. I thought it would paired well with the hot drinks. And, you know, and it's something that is so low carb. Like there's 7 net carbs. When I worked out, I think it was 7 net carbs. There's no net carbs. 7 calories, I think it was, for a serve of this marshmallow. So it's pretty much nothing. All right. Okay, I think we're New Zealand lolly cake. Okay, come on. Yeah, I've seen those. It's like when I look at a lot of like people suggest different cakes and slices and that for me, and I'm like, oh, you got to make the biscuit and you got to make that, and it's like I just laugh when like, you know, people tell me, oh, I got to cook all these things and stuff, and it's like, well, you can go to the bloody supermarket, you can buy your biscuits, you can buy your chocolates, you can buy your marshmallows, you can buy your lollies or whatever. We have to make all the ingredients to actually make the cake or slice, and it's like, Hannah, I'm not going there anymore. I want things that are pretty quick and easy. And as you can see, other than the mixing time, while that's on, you can be doing other things. Like literally when I was doing my other one, I actually made the upside down deep dish pizza for us today. I cooked all the bacon and that in my air fryer. I whisked up the base in the Thermomix. I put it in, and it was in the oven when I turned my marshmallow to liquid by adding the oil base colour. Pinky slice with chocolate caramel layer, marshmallow layer, final layer of chocolate. Sounds good. So you can see now that you've got like a really good recipe that you actually just watched as well. Now let me just show you. You can see it's really starting to take shape. So that will cool. All you do is just leave it, and it'll come off with baking paper. I'll always use Glad Bake. People ask, is like, mine stuck to the baking paper. Oh, whatever. If you're using, I won't say the brands, if you're using the cheaper brands at the supermarket, as far as I'm concerned, they're all pretty much rubbish when it comes to low carb cooking. I don't know. So I don't spray things. I don't grease things. I want something that works every time. The Glad Bake, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I have never received anything from them. I just think hands down it's the best baking paper that you can use in Australia anyway. Around the world, you will all have your favourite brands, but try and find the best quality one that comes away when you want it to come away. The other way to do it is you can just do it in cling film. So you just put your plastic down or your silicone mats and stuff like that, put it straight onto a silicone mat or straight into a cling film in a baking container, put it into the fridge or out, leave it out. What I'll do is like after a few hours and it's set, I'll flip it over so it dries out the other side. So like with this, with the one that's, it was actually this one. So with the one that actually had the flowers on it, the base of it looked wet when I turned it over, but it dried out perfectly. I have exactly the same anniversary KitchenAid. Yeah, Dave bought me that one. I think I found the receipt for this one too, but I think it's over 10 years old now. Maybe 12 or so. But yeah, it was when it first came out. We were here. Yeah, and it was candy, and it's the candy apple red, and they said it was limited edition colour, and you'll never see it again, blah, blah, blah. And then they brought out everything in candy apple red, which I do have a lot of the candy apple red stuff hidden away, like pasta stuff and that. But anyway. Okay, finally bit the bullet. I'm excited for the membership. and the cookbooks. Can't wait to enjoy your recipes. Okay, no worries. Thanks, Vicky. I hope you find lots of recipes to enjoy. The thing is, we're all about food here. Obviously, I've been talking a lot about weight loss and the plans and that lately, but overall, my whole thing is that I always want every recipe to hit the mark flavor-wise and easy-wise for everybody and to work. So that's why we do some of the recipes live so that people can see anything that might look a little bit tricky and they might be scared of it, that it is easy to do if you just follow the recipe. So even like me, when I went to make this today, like this is not the recipe in front of me, it's actually my gummies, which is quite similar, by the way. But I actually wrote in here, water, sweet, simmer 4 minutes, add gelatin 30 seconds, cook 2 minutes, egg white, plus 6 to 7, vanilla after 4. That's what I wrote as my methods, just in case, because like while I'm jabbering on, I might forget something. But as I said, I've made this that many times, I should pretty much know it off by heart, which I don't think I looked at it once. Are you saying that it has to cool to 37 degrees, Lucy? See, like, you know, you didn't tell me any of that when I was like going, testing the recipes. The only thing I say is like, don't look at sugar candy thermometers when you're using the keto sweeteners though. Totally different. If you take, if you're trying to convert a recipe that's got a candy thermometer recipe and it says like, you know, cook the sugar until it's like 110 degrees or whatever, you'll just burn the crap out of the sugar and it'll start going cloudy and stuff like that. So, but yeah, the temperatures are right when it comes down, so you can feel the side of the bowl. And like I said, you probably didn't hear because I was talking, but if you watch it back, you'll probably hear the KitchenAid start to change in its sound as it's mixing when it's getting close to ready because it's very thick. Alrighty, and yes, Vicky, so yeah, I hope you love everything that you found. Okay, so shipping has gone through the roof. It's just nuts. Like, honestly, like I think up to 1 kilo now is $19, Dave was saying today, for express post. And it doesn't matter as long as it's like, they say if it packs, it sends or whatever. So it's like, but it's only up to 1 kilo. You go over that 1 kilo, even if it's like by 50 grams or whatever, we get extra bills and it'll be like, you know, half the postage again. But we weigh everything because we put it in because we use recycled padded packaging inside every satchel and that as well too. Dave has to weigh them all. So yeah, it's lots of fun. We grow our own eggs, so we need to go by measurements. Yeah, okay. That is right. When you get your own eggs, it's best to look at weights and stuff like that. If you see like the weights that I use and stuff, in the cookbooks I always write. I have a guide in the back and that as well too. Because Linda, who cooks with me a lot, she had chickens that laid like the little eggs and we'd be like weighing them all in. It's like my pavlova. I know I use 240 grams of eggs at six egg whites, I think it is. And I say, you know, if it takes you 10 eggs to get to 240 grams, that's what you have to do for the recipe, you know, like it just depends on what you've got. That's a mean looking torch. Yeah, if you're going to get a butane torch, honestly, this was like, I think $10 around there off Amazon, and then you just get the gas bottles. They're so much better than any of the fancy ones you get. Like I've had another one that was made supposedly just for the kitchen, but it's got no guards. Like this is just like boom, done. So when you look at a lot of recipes, like you'll see the naan in the book and it's got like that little bit of a flame torch on it. I don't have a pizza oven, I have butane. So I just go shh, and it just makes it look gorgeous. It gives it that little bit of char, gives it that bit of flavour in that as well too, to a lot of the foods. So that's how I'll finish off things. If you've got my Mad XM cookbook, the perfect roast chicken in there, like honestly, my roast chicken is hands down the best roast chicken because I don't like roast chickens. And it's so good. And the magic is butane over the top and you'll hear the skin. It's kind of like it's turning into like crackling. It's like insane. It's so good. So do that if you're ever making roast chicken. Must have been topping at the same time. Okay, so yeah. Vital Zing. Yes, so for Vital Zing you can use any of the flavours. So I've put them in the ingredient suggestions of whatever as well to flavour it. So for anyone that's watching that's not in Australia or in New Zealand, because Vital Zing's a New Zealand company, there is flavour drops. I contacted them and they said there's flavour drops in the US, but just have a look for anything that is a sugar-free one. Theirs is made with stevia, and it is not one of those flavourings that tastes crap. It sounds really bad. Theirs don't, so get that right. Theirs tastes really nice. It doesn't have that horrible aftertaste, which a lot of flavourings or sweetener flavourings do in pre-packaged foods and stuff like that. So You know, like I use a lot of collagen or proteins and that, but you'll probably see that I always just use plain. I don't like a lot of the flavoured ones. They're so overly sweetened with whatever sweetener it is that like smacks you in the face and, you know, I don't know, makes your eyelashes fall out. not literally, but it's just so sweet. So the Vital Zings, I like them because I can control the sweetness and it doesn't give me any aftertaste. So that's a big bonus. And it just doesn't have any bad flavour. I mean, stevia is obviously a natural sweetener, but we know that some stevia in some things will give you a really weird flavour or give you a burgly belly. As long as you're just having everything in moderation, I would say put in less, try it, then add a little bit more if you're going to put it in. With the marshmallow, I did do one whole batch and I used 10 drops, which normally I think they say 220 to 200, 250 ml cup measure, but I used 10 drops in the whole of mine and it just had that really nice subtle, I can't even remember what flavour it was, it might have been banana that I put in there, and it just had that back flavour of it, which was just perfect because you don't want to stick in too much because once you do, you've ruined everything. But you'll know, like if you write down 10 drops somewhere, even if it's on your phone, and then you want to make it again, you go, you know what, you could probably go 12 or it could go 14. You can add those extra ones in there. But any flavours, but as we said, just watch anything that's oil-based, and probably between now and before I can even update any details and stuff, not in the book, but any of my notes and stuff about marshmallows, have a look on Google and see what can destroy a marshmallow or a meringue, because it's probably all oil-based stuff. We just had a creeper. Is that something in the kitchen? I don't know what that one is. Wagon wheel slice. We've got a wagon wheel recipe on the website and that as well too. So you can actually use it for that as well, which we had the cookies and stuff like that on there as well, and Coke and the chocolate and the freeze-dried raspberries and a little bit of the Natvia jam, or there's the beautiful jams from Tassie. I can't think of their names right now. But anyway, I think we're done. Just having a quick look and see if there's any more questions. We did have somebody ask about the Thermomix today on our Facebook group, and I've put it in the notes. I didn't do it in the Thermomix. You've seen the volume of that. It quite literally doesn't fit in there. It doesn't mix properly. For this recipe, it might work fine for the normal sugared ones and stuff like that, but you're looking at a lot more sugar, a whole different way of making it. It just didn't live up to the standard that I want. And as I've always said, I will not put a Thermomix recipe or any thermal cooker into any of like our website or our cookbooks if I don't think it makes it shine. So, you know, I've got a few thermies here. I've got 7 of the things. A few different models, and I've got the Magimix and that as well too. I love them, and I would love to give you a recipe for every single one of them and that as well. But you know, you got to think, like, I'm not doing it to a specific model as well. So if, I was going to put it in, you know, your TM31 jug. I think that one's smaller, right? It won't come out anyway. So it's a smaller jug. So if I do it in there, it won't even fit. So it's kind of like you've got to put in all these extra things. I'm not writing a book specifically for that. So. But you can still give it a whirl and it'll probably come out fine. We did do ones earlier. I know that they weren't as voluminous as this. It was when I was testing the custard ones. So the custard ones will work in there fine because I went straight from the Egg Fast custard to mixing it with the egg whites and stuff like that in and seeing how it would turn out. And then we kept developing the recipe from there and onwards and onwards and onwards and onwards. Partner loves cookie dough wagon wheel, so it would be a great alternative. Yep, there you go. Too easy. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I think we've done everything. You can make these at home. We've got some like upside down pizza subs. I'll post pictures of those tomorrow on a lunchbox. And keep an eye out for everybody that's doing the Megg Fast 3 this week. Good luck. I am really, really excited myself. I said to Dave, I am manifesting a big weight loss this week. I'd like to crack over another kilo. So, but my first big goals, I hadn't really had a goal, I didn't even know how it's going to go, is 20 kilos. So I think with the 20 kilos that would take me up over about 42 kilos lost since I first went low carb. So that'd be pretty insane. But yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch up soon, probably with something else from the Megg Fast, and we'll talk then. Okay. I'm coming around to turn you off. Bye.